You ever feel like life's been against you since day one? Like, you didn't even get a chance to mess up because the universe already had it out for you? Yeah, well, meet the Kakapo, New Zealand's feathered embodiment of bad luck. If birds had therapists, the Kakapo would be booked out until 2047. It's like evolution looked at this thing and went, let's make a parrot, but sabotage it in literally every way possible. Imagine being born a flightless, nocturnal, chunky green bird in a world of predators you didn't evolve with because your island used to be peaceful until humans showed up with their murder mammals. This bird's entire life is a masterclass in unpreparedness. Nature threw it into a survival game it didn't sign up for, blindfolded, with one wing tied behind its back. Not that it can fly anyway. So buckle in, because we're about to dive headfirst into the tragic comedy that is the Kakapo's life. This isn't just another sad animal documentary. No, this is a roast. A gentle, loving roast of the world's most unfortunate parrot. First of all, let's talk about how it all starts, hatching into disappointment. Picture this, you're an egg, buried in a little nest in some mossy forest on an island that used to be a predator-free paradise. Sounds cozy, right? Wrong. Your mom is a Kakapo, which means she might be a great mom, eventually. But she only lays eggs when the Rimu tree fruits, and that only happens every few years. So congrats, baby Kakapo, your entire existence is based on a fruit tree's mood swings. You're not a baby bird. You're a fruit-based seasonal gamble. And if you're lucky enough to get laid, as an egg, don't get excited, you're stuck waiting for your mom to maybe feed you, but she's also got to leave you alone for hours while she hunts for food. You know, because Kakapos don't live near their food source. Why make it easy? So while she's out doing DoorDash for moss snacks, you're just chilling in your nest. Alone. Vulnerable. Smelling like baby bird buffet. And here's the kicker, you live in New Zealand, which was totally safe until humans introduced cats, rats, dogs, and stoats, all of which took one look at you and thought, oh, McNugget. You're a baby Kakapo, and you can't fly. You can't run. You can barely even peep. You are essentially a warm marshmallow with eyes. You are the lowest hanging fruit in the food chain. Evolution didn't just leave you hanging, it gift-wrapped you for extinction and slapped a free snacks label on your forehead. Now, assuming you don't get turned into stoat sushi, and you survive those first terrifying weeks, you get to grow into your full Kakapo glory. Which means, you get chunkier. Kakapos are the heaviest parrots in the world. Most parrots, zipping through trees, showing off their aerial acrobatics. Kakapo, built like a feathered bowling ball. Flight. Ha. Not a chance. Your ancestors were like, why fly when there's nothing trying to eat us? And nature was like, cool, I'll just hit uninstall wings then. But surprise. Now there are things trying to eat you. And your defense strategy? Freezing and hoping the predator goes away. Which, by the way, works great against T-Rex level vision, not so much against mammals with a nose. And don't even get me started on your voice. Male Kakapos, when they hit puberty, yes, bird puberty is a thing, develop this deep, booming mating call called a boom. It's like if Barry White had asthma and was trying to DJ through a subwoofer. The male digs a hole, yes, a literal hole, then sits in it and starts booming for hours, hoping some lady Kakapo will hear his sexy echo and be like, nice acoustics. But these booms can travel miles. So guess who else hears it? Predators. So your mating strategy is basically broadcasting, I'm alone and juicy, across the forest. Genius. Anyway, back to being a chick. Assuming you avoid being eaten, starved, or accidentally crushed, oh yeah, Kakapo moms have been known to step on their babies, your next few months are spent growing slowly. Because unlike normal birds that pop out of the nest in a few weeks, Kakapos take their sweet time. We're talking months. You don't even leave the nest properly for 10 to 12 weeks. Most birds are in college by then. But not you. You're still tripping over twigs, trying to figure out which side of your body is the beak side. And then there's the loneliness. There's no Kakapo social club. These birds are solitary, like hermit-level introverts. Your mom ditches you after a few months. Your dad. Who's he? You'll never meet him. He was too busy boomboxing in a hole when you were conceived. So from the start, you're born into a life of isolation, starvation, stealth predators, and very little parental affection. You're basically a feathered Batman origin story, if Batman was allergic to flying, hated crowds, and got bullied by stoats. Okay, so you've made it past the baby stage. Congrats, you walking avocado. You're officially a juvenile Kakapo, which means you now get to experience the long, slow horror show that is adulthood. And by horror, I don't mean jump scares. I mean the kind of slow-burn existential crisis that comes from being biologically unequipped for modern life. Let's talk mobility, or rather, the lack of it. Kakapos can't fly, remember? They've got wings, but those are basically decorative flaps. Think, cosplay angel wings made of disappointment. So how do they get around? They climb. They waddle to the base of a tree, awkwardly scramble up it using their beak like a grappling hook, and then, sometimes, just sometimes, they try to jump off in a bold attempt at something. Gliding? Falling with dignity? Who knows? All we know is, there's more hope than actual physics involved. But at least they're good at walking, right? Kinda. Kakapos are chunky little tanks, so they can hustle when they need to. But need to usually means something's trying to eat me. Remember how their main survival tactic is freezing? Yeah, turns out standing still doesn't help much when the predator is a dog with a nose that can smell you from 3 kilometers away and a brain that says snack every time it sees feathers. And it gets worse. Kakapos, despite being nocturnal, have the stealth of a Roomba. They're loud. Their movement, not graceful. So imagine a big, flightless green bird trying to sneak around the forest like it's in Mission Impossible, but instead of Tom Cruise, it's just a bumbling muppet tripping over moss. If the predator doesn't find them, it's only because it's too busy laughing. Now let's get into the whole finding a mate thing, because nature didn't just make life physically hard, it went all in and gave the Kakapo romantic issues too. Remember that deep booming call? The one that's basically a live GPS ping for anything with teeth? That's the Kakapo's main way of flirting. Males dig what's called a track and bowl system. It's like a weird bachelor pad, small trenches leading to a hole, where the male sits and booms all night, calling out to females. And I do mean all night. 4 weeks. Alone. Yelling into the void like a sad forest DJ. The only thing missing is a neon sign that says, still single. And the ladies? They don't care. Female Kakapos are extremely picky, and they're only even open to dating every few years when the Rimu tree does its fruity thing. So all that booming and trench digging might literally lead to nothing. Imagine spending weeks building a treehouse, DJing 12 hours a night, and at the end, 0 matches. Kakapo Tinder is broken. Swipe left, swipe left, swipe left, extinction. Let's say, miraculously, a female hears the call and is like, okay, he sounds tolerable. She makes her way toward the sound, which could be miles away, because that boom travels far. And what does the male do when she arrives? Nothing. He just stands there and lets it happen. That's it. No dinner, no dance, not even a wing wave. Romantic, huh? Kakapos are lek breeders, which is a fancy way of saying, we don't date, we just meet at the weird dirt pit and move on. Love is dead in the Kakapo world. But wait, there's more. Let's say you're one of the few Kakapos who does manage to mate. Amazing. You did it. You beat the odds. Now, good luck actually raising kids. Because remember, Females raise the babies alone, and they only do it when the forest basically hands them a fruit buffet. No buffet. No babies. Which means the kakapo's entire reproductive cycle is tied to the mood of a tree. So climate change. That's not just a bad weather day for kakapos, that's full reproductive sabotage. Oh, and remember those new threats humans brought to New Zealand? Let's talk about them again. Rats, stoats, cats, dogs, these were things the kakapo's ancestors never had to deal with. So they didn't evolve any decent defenses. No flight, no venom, no claws, no aggressive posturing. Just vibes. Kakapo vibes. Which is adorable, but not great for survival when surrounded by apex predators who think you taste like slow-moving chicken nuggets. New Zealand conservationists are trying to help. Kakapos have been moved to predator-free islands and tracked with radio transmitters, and they even get their own personalized care routines. Some have personal health records better than humans. And scientists literally hand-raise chicks when needed. There are baby monitors and 24/7 watch teams. Kakapos are basically the world's most pampered near-extinct bird. And yet, despite all this, the population is still tiny. Why? Because nature designed them for a world that doesn't exist anymore, one with no predators, no climate issues, and no people trying to selfie with them while they're just trying to vibe. Now, at this point, you might be wondering, how is the kakapo not extinct already? And honestly, same. But here's the thing, despite being built like a clumsy couch cushion with zero survival instincts, the kakapo does have some survival tactics. They're just weird. Very weird. Let's start with their camouflage. Kakapos are greenish-yellow with mottled black and brown spots. In a mossy New Zealand forest, this color scheme basically turns them into sentient guacamole. They blend in with the forest floor like a glitch in the Matrix. In fact, if they just sit completely still, you can walk right past one and not notice. That is, unless you hear it first, because remember, they move like someone dragging a beanbag chair through twigs. But back to their hide and freeze tactic. The kakapo's go-to move when it senses danger is to stop, crouch, and stay as still as possible. This is called freezing behavior, and it worked great when their main threats were birds with terrible eyesight. But against a dog? Or a rat? It's like trying to escape a bloodhound by holding your breath and hoping it respects the rules of hide and seek. Bold move. 0 success rate. Now here's where it gets even more ridiculous. Kakapos don't have the usual birdy musky body odor. They smell nice. Seriously. Like, weirdly nice. Humans who work with kakapos describe their scent as musty sweet, or like a warm suitcase full of herbs. One conservationist literally said they smell like a dusty violin case. That's poetic, but also a tactical nightmare. If you're a bird trying not to get eaten, maybe don't walk around smelling like herbal tea. It's like putting on cologne to go to war. Here I am, just trying to survive, smelling like lemongrass and existential failure. And when kakapo moms mess up, humans step in. Like if a mom abandons her nest, because kakapo parenting is a part-time gig at best, conservationists will incubate the eggs, raise the chicks by hand, and then reintroduce them to the wild. It's like if a reality show was about saving chubby, introverted parrots. Coming up next on Bird Rehab, Forest Edition, can little Mervin learn to climb a tree without faceplanting again? Stay tuned. Oh, and get this, because the gene pool is so tiny, scientists sometimes use artificial insemination. Yes. They collect kakapo fluids and do the bird version of IVF. There are people in this world whose job includes extracting that from male kakapos. How? Let's just say, manual stimulation, and let your imagination stop right there. If you ever think your job is weird, remember that somewhere, someone has to gently encourage a parrot to donate for science. Nature is wild. But science is wilder. Despite all this effort, Kakapos still have one of the slowest reproductive rates of any bird. Some females only breed once every 2 to 4 years. That's not a family tree, that's a cactus. Long gaps, few branches, and everyone's emotionally distant. And yet, somehow, this awkward, fluffy, clueless green nugget of a bird has become one of the most fiercely protected animals on the planet. Scientists obsess over them. Volunteers hike through wet forests with headlamps and spreadsheets just to make sure one chunky bird doesn't fall off a log. Entire predator-free islands have been created just so the kakapo can bumble around in peace. It's like giving a Michelin star spot to a creature that still eats dirt sometimes. But you know what? The kakapo deserves it. Yeah, it's weird and unlucky and borderline useless at basic survival, but it's also a total icon. In a world that celebrates flashy, fast, and fierce animals, the kakapo is a reminder that being slow, awkward, and deeply confused is still worth saving. And let's be real, the kakapo is us. It's every clumsy teen who never got picked first for dodgeball. It's everyone who's ever forgotten their password 5 times in a row. It's proof that even if you're bad at life, you can still be loved, protected, and fiercely defended, especially if you're fluffy and smell like antique bookstores. So the next time you're feeling unlucky, like life handed you the short end of the evolutionary stick, remember the kakapo. It didn't ask to be this way. It didn't want to be a flightless, booming, forest-dwelling herb-scented introvert. But here it is. Still waddling. Still trying. Still existing against all odds. And that, my friends, is the most relatable energy of all. Thanks for sticking around and witnessing the tragic brilliance of the kakapo. If you learned something, laughed at least once, or now feel spiritually connected to a parrot with commitment issues, smash that like button. Drop a comment below about your favorite weird animal, or tell us which creature you want us to roast next. And of course, subscribe for more gloriously awkward wildlife stories, because nature is a mess, and we are absolutely here for it. See you in the next one, and remember, if a flightless, fruit-dependent, socially awkward moss nugget can survive extinction, so can you.